Hello, Control. This is Monitor Rice reporting. Radiation reading of Building 6, 0.4 Roentgen units per hour. Time 1:22 p.m.
Roger, Monitor Rice.
Please. Thank you. Here's one for the radiation chief, Howard. Will you take it down to him, please?
The degree of radiation in each location is charted by the radiation chief, and defensive measures are planned and executed. By plotting the reports of the monitors, the radiological chief verifies the type and strength of the bomb drop. This bomb approximates the strength of the atom burst over Hiroshima in World War II. Throughout the plant, mobile first aid stations are moved into areas declared safe by radiological monitors and are readied for action by teams of hospital aides. These specially designed stations were built at Convair and are patterned after similar equipment used successfully in World War II. Each hospital aid team member has received a minimum of 12 hours of first aid training. Fires must be brought under control immediately. If hand extinguishers cannot subdue the blaze, the control center is notified, and additional equipment and aid are dispatched to the scene. Every precaution is taken to protect the fire. Oxygen breathing apparatus is worn while working in the smoke, and lifelines are attached to the firemen to protect them from being trapped in the blazing area. First aid teams, carefully trained for such emergencies, immediately begin a search for injured personnel. Members of these teams have been taught to use all available first aid equipment and to improvise when no equipment is handy. This crew makes a splint from lumber at hand to hold a fractured leg steady until better care can be given the patient. Stretcher teams remove the casualty to the nearest aid station for further treatment. Gloves are worn by first aiders to protect their hands from radioactive dust that might have collected on an injured man's clothing. As casualties arrive at the mobile aid station, a quick radiation check is made by a monitor with a Geiger counter. The patient is then covered with a blanket to ward off shock, and a casualty tag is attached to the patient, noting his name, address, and other important information. This data is forwarded immediately to the control center so that relatives may be notified. Blood plasma is always ready for patients suffering from excessive bleeding or radiation damage. A trained nurse administers and supervises technical treatment where needed. Following detection of radioactive material, decontamination crews go to work immediately to remove dust or other materials which might endanger lives and health. These and other personnel required to operate in contaminated areas wear special badges. Inside these are tiny pieces of film which record any exposure to radioactivity. The film is checked regularly, and if it shows signs of radioactivity, the crew member is given immediate preventive treatment. Members of decontamination squads also wear protective clothing and respirators. The most common method of decontaminating a hot area is to scrub it with water and brushes. The water is carefully swept into the sewer, from which it eventually will find its way into the sea, where its radioactivity will be dissipated. Now that the enemy has declared his hand by attacking, it is all the more important that the plant be returned to full production as rapidly as possible. Reconstruction work begins immediately. Cranes remove fallen steel beams and heavy timbers. Blasted holes are filled in, and wiring and pipelines are replaced or repaired. Production throughout the plant takes up where it left off when the red alert sounded. Casualties can be prevented by prompt action and ready obedience.